Selenium with Java, January 2022 batch, online training session 3. So today we'll start Java. So next 4 session will be basic and advanced Java, where you will get the complete understanding of Java all about, right? What are the different type of variables available, what is object class, right? What is the array, and what are the other thing. One second, okay. Okay. Momita, are you able to see me? See my screen and hear me? Just now I started the session, okay. So in today's topic, I will cover Java introduction, comments, data type, variables, what is object and class, what are the different operator available, what is Java string, what is single dimensional, multi-dimensional array all about, what is the different loop. In the loop, you will be finding 3 loops: for loop, while loop, and do while loop, and how we can maintain the loop with the, or how we can control the loop with the help of break and continue keyword. So today's session and the next 3 sessions will be only for the Java, where you will get to know about the ops concept of Java, the collection framework, multi-threading, Java input output operation, all the stuff will be taught. So everything will be start from the scratch. You no need to worry. So everything will be there in the upcoming session and today's session as well. So what is Java all about? So Java is a programming language. There are so many programming language, right? Initially C, C++, Java, Python. So similarly, Java is also a programming language, right? Which is developed by the Sun Microsoft in the year of 1995. But now it's a product of the Oracle. That is the reason, right? Whenever you want to install Java, you need to go to the Oracle site and you can go install any kind of JDK or the GRE, right? Right now, I think 1.17 or 1.18 version is available. So you can install the upgraded version there. So why Java? What are the different features in Java is available, right? You can see I have tried to listed all the points here. So Java is simple, means it's very easy to learn, and syntax is simple and clean and easy to understand. According to the Sun Microsoft, Java language is one of the simple programming language. Then it's object oriented. So object oriented part I will definitely cover it in the next two session, right? What is the object concept, oriented concept? But in Java, you will be getting the 4 important concept, which is the first one is the object, second one is the class, and another 4 concept of the ops is inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. So that will be covered in details level. So no need to worry. It says portables, means Java is suppose say if you can carry the Java bytecode to any platform, it does not require any implementation. Suppose say today you are using operating system called Mac, you can tomorrow the same code you can convert it to the Linux or the Windows system. It is secured compared to other programming language. It is secure. That is the reason sometimes developer uses Java only to develop virus-free system. It platform independent, just like the portable also it's platform independent. So if you want to write some program in the Linux machine, it can be run in the Mac or Windows system, right? Architectural neutral means Java compiler generates an architectural neutral object file format, which makes the compiled code executable on any processor. It is processor independent. So with the presence of Java runtime system or JRE, okay, with the help of JRE, we can run. That is the reason it's architectural neutral. High performance. So performance wise, it's better comparative to other programming language, right? But sometimes it can be downgraded compared to the Python or other language, but still it's better. Okay. And one important thing is that if you learn Java, right, from the first time, whatever the other language, right, it can be JavaScript, it can be C#, it can be Python, you can easily learn it. So that is the reason people used to prefer learn Java. So that might be tough for the initial time, but once you learn Java, so you can learn other language in a very short span of time and without much effort, right? So everything should be common, right? If you know the Java, something can be removed. But the problem is that if you know Python, but if you want to learn Java, that will be a bit tough, right? That is the reason I always prefer to the students saying that go with Java first. After you learn Java, C# or maybe JavaScript or Python, even if it is required C has also, right? C++ also you can easily learn it, right? Multi-threaded. And another true thing is the multi-threaded robust in and interpreted, right? So what is multi-threading? So what is threading? A thread is like a separate program which will be executing concurrently. Suppose say you at the same time doing multiple work at the same time, right? You are writing something, you are reading, watching television, and you are talking to a person. Similar way, Java thread, right, used to perform multiple operations at the same time is the concurrent operation. So that is the another important feature is that the multi-threading. That's robust means strong. Java is robust because in Java there is an automated garbage collection process available, right, which runs on the JVM or Java virtual machine, right. Suppose in case there are multiple objects they are you have generated or created, right, but in case you are not using them for next couple of time, right, maybe couple of days or couple of months, so there is no point of keeping those kind of templated file in the memory, right, because it will consume the memory and your process may be kind of slow. That is the reasons, right, that particular garbage collection process, in case you are not using any program, it will be removed so that it will clear the memory. Okay. And also in Java there is an exception handling mechanism available, right. That is the reason Java is robust compared to other programming language. Then interpreted means Java bytecode is translated to the on the fly to the native machine instruction and is stored anywhere. The development process is more rapid and analytical since the linking is an incremental and the lightweight process, because lightweight is the threading is the very lightweight is one of the lightweight component is the thread. So definitely that bytecode can be translated to any program, any other machine. That is the reason it's called interpreted, right. Into what is the thing of interpreter, right? So he will interpret your language to the other language. So this is a kind of mediator. Similarly, Java also with the help of JVM, GRE and JDK, we can transfer the bytecode to the machine readable code. So this is the important architecture of the Java. First it will be JVM, which is the JVM or Java virtual machine. Then JVM and the set of library and other files will be consisting of JRE. So if you already installed Java, you will be able to see the JRE or JDK, but not the JVM, because JVM is the abstract one. It does not physically exist, but it logically exists. So it's a specification that provides a runtime environment in which Java bytecode can be executed. It can also run those programs which are written in other languages compiled to the Java bytecode. So you can see Java code with the help of compiler will be converted into the bytecode, right? Whereas JRE or Java runtime environment is a set of software tools which are used for developing Java application. It is used to provide the runtime environment. It is the implementation of JVM. It physically exists. So JVM or Java virtual machine is not physically exists, it's logical one. Whereas JRE is physically exists. It contains the set of library and other files that JVM uses at the runtime. Then next one is the JDK, which is the Java deployment kit, right, which is a combination of JRE as well as other set of development tool called Java, etc. So JDK or Java development kit is a software development environment which is used to develop Java application and applets. It also physically exists. It contains JRE plus the development tool. So JDK contains JVM and few other resources such as interpreter, loader, compiler, archiver, document generation on Java doc, etc. to complete the development of a Java application. So that's why the architecture of the internal architecture of the Java, right, physically exists with the help of JRE, Java runtime environment. This you can find JRE file, JDK, everything. So that's why it will consist the Java. Then why Java is important, especially whenever you want to do with the Selenium WebDriver, right? So Selenium also written in Java. So Java is more compatible with Selenium. That is one of the primary reason. But definitely there are so many language also we can use with the Selenium WebDriver like C# and Python, right, or Ruby, etc. Definitely, because Java is used in wide range, that is the reason in case of any support, documentation, video, right? If you want to require, if you want to learn, you can get it plenty amount of data available from the um, internet or other sources, right? So most of the Selenium testers are still using Java only. So knowledge sharing or clarification resolution is very easy. Java is platform independent language. That is the reason, right? Any, I mean, user can use Java in any of the environment, operating system environment like Linux, Windows, or Mac. Then, what are the syntax rule for Java? So first is Java is case sensitive. So in case you are writing something in the capital word, and in case you are writing something in the smaller word, so it is case sensitive. So in case it is smaller only, you have to use in the smaller word only, smaller word. So suppose the capital C and smaller, or maybe the smaller word C is different here. So Java is case sensitive. Whenever you are creating any class, right, first letter of the class should be in uppercase. That is the convention or syntax rule. Whenever you are creating any method, right, first letter should start with the lowercase. In case you are using creating any interface, similarly the name should start with uppercase letter. Package name should start with lowercase letter. Constant name should be uppercase letter, right? And Java program will Java execution will start from the main method. That is the reason, right? In case you are creating any Java program, and in case you are not using any other framework like StringG, so definitely you have to use the main method, otherwise your program execution will not be started. So your program execution will start from the main method only. Every statement, I mean, in Java with end is a semicolon. That is the reason you already see in the last two sessions also, right? Whenever we are declaring something, we want to do some operation, every statement we are, I mean, ending with the semicolon. And your blocks enclosed with the second bracket, right? You already seen that main method also starting with second bracket, it's ending with second bracket. So similar way, or whenever you are creating any method or other stuff, right, we need to enclose with second bracket. Otherwise, it will throw the error during the compile time itself. So compile time is nothing. Suppose you are writing some program, and if you are pressing save, so that time in case you are having some trouble, right, it will be immediately thrown. But runtime is that it will not be visible, or not be, that error will not be discovered during the compile time. But in case you want to run the program, then some sort of error can be visible after the run is happened of the code, right? So that is the called runtime, right? So how to create a and run Java program with the help of Eclipse, right? So first you already seen, right, we are launching the Eclipse, right? We are creating a Java project, then we are creating a package, and with the package itself we are creating a class, right? So whenever you are creating some class, you already seen here, right, it's starting with the main method. So you can see, so this is the package, right? In the package training, so this is the project Selenium training Jan 22 batch. This is the package in the src folder, and in the package we are creating multiple class called session 1, session 2, session 3. This is the class session 3, which is public in nature, so that can be accessible within the project anywhere. And this is the main method. You can see public, static, void, and main string argument. So what is the signifier of each and everything? So public is called access modifier. It can be private, protected as well. So it can be visible to the public level. Static means is the non-access modifier. So static, final, right? These are the different things available in the Java as the form of non-access modifier. Void is the return type. So in case it's void means it will return nothing. Sometimes return type can be right, string or different data type, right? It can be integer, float. So you will learn slowly. Right now no need to concentrate much. So definitely everything will be done slowly. Then main is the method name. And you already seen another method called SYSO method, right? So in the main method we need to run something, you need to type SYSO, then call, toll, and the spacebar. So immediately system out dot println, that method will be coming, or it will give the suggestion, right? So what does it mean by SYSO method? What are the different components mean? Okay, system is the class in the predefined in the Java. So let's give some time. Okay, you can see this is the system SYSO method, system out dot println, right? And if you want to write something, right? A Java program. So you can see, so system is the predefined class. Output, this is an instance of print stream type which is public and the static member field of the system class. It is coming from system class. Println is the methods available in system class, and this is your message, whatever you want to print in the console. Now if you run your code, right, your program execution, which is the class session 3, and it will start from the main method, right? It will first check any compilation error is there or not. After that, in case there is no compilation error, it will try to execute the program, and in case of no error, it will try to print out in the console, and program will be success here. You can see in the console Java program is coming, because that is the message we want to display in the console, right? So this is the importance of these two methods available in Java, which will be very, very important. Then Java comment, you in the previous session you already seen, right? If you already written 10 lines of code, but if you do not want to use them, right, you can comment them. So there are two ways of commenting. So it can be single line comment, but if you want to comment all multiple line at the same time, it can be multiple line comment, right? So how we can uncomment anything, right? So let's start. See here that Java program I will be using multiple times. Okay, it's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, like that. Okay, so if you run your code, you will see the 5 different lines of items, right, in the console. New 5 lines. One is Java program 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Okay, in the console. Now say if you want to run, don't want to run a single line. Suppose say I don't want to run Java program 1. So you can comment out, so that will not be executed, right, during the program run. If you run, so 4 remaining 4 line will be executed, but that line whatever you commented out, that will not be executed. Similarly, if you want to comment multiple lines, so the 3rd, 4th and 5th line, so how can you do that in a single shot instead of commenting that way? So that is the syntax you need to use. So start with slash and then star mark, end with star and then slash. So these 3 lines will be commented out from the execution, and this line already commented out, so now only one line will be executed with the help of Java program. So similarly, if you want to uncomment, right, you need to remove the slash or slash start from all the lines, right, then it will be executed. So why comment is really required in Java? Suppose say during real time, right, you are writing 1000 line of code, but some of the important things you need to specify, right? So definitely you cannot, right, execute them as a program. So you need to comment out, so that those will be reside as part of comment, right? But what will happen, right? But I mean, those will not be executed, but people can see that some comment is entered, right? So they can verify those comment as and when required. Okay, so guys, any questions, or are you able to hear me properly? Is it good so far, whatever has been covered?
Yeah, good for me.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then next one is data type, right? What does it mean by data type? So data type is a classification of data, right, that a variable or object can hold in the computer programming. So in Java, there are primarily 2 categories of data type, right? Sometimes that question definitely interviewer will ask, what is the 2 data type? One is the primitive data type, which means that will hold some value, that is called primitive, right? And another is the non-primitive or reference data type. So non-primitive or reference data type is nothing but the object, class, interface, string, array, etc. Right? In the primitive data type, there are primarily 4 types of data type available. One is the integer, then relative, then character, and the conditional. In integer, there will be 4 type: wide, short, integer, and long. Relational, there will be 2, which is the float and double, and a character, and the conditional will be boolean. Right? Then how can you define the data type, right? So whenever you are declaring some variable, right, so you need to provide the data type as well. Then how What is the data type? Suppose that is the syntax. Suppose if you want to give some declare some variable, right? That is that variable if you declare it, right, in Java. So that is the data type here, that is called variable, which will hold some value. But data type will define that what type of data you want to store some value, right? So this is the way. And sometimes you can directly you can define the data type and you can hold some, assign some value in the next line, right? Or other way you can, right, you can give the value at the same time. So that's way you can define the data type, right? And if you want to print, then you can print with the help of SYSO method, right? You can print A, because that is variable. That is the reason you no need to cover it within double quote, because you want to print the value of the variable, so it will be without the quote. But as and when you will be making it in a quote, right, it will be string, it will be considered as a string. Okay, let's see what is the basic difference between two of them. Okay, so it will take the value from that variable, right, where the value we have assigned, and here it will be considered only that value A only. It will not consider, because this is we have given within double quote, so it will be string and that A value will be printed out, no other value will be printed out. That is the difference between, right, the variable and the other string. So in case you are declaring something, so that will be considered as the string, and that value whatever you are entering will be displayed here. But in case you are defining some variable, right, and the value is assigned here, right, the value will be displayed here. So that's why you can, right, you can do you can assign the data type and define the value of the variable, right? Okay, so suppose say float or double, if I want to declare some variable called double, right, so let's give some value called double. Double D equal to is kind of floating part, right? So now if you want to print the value of D, so it will be printed out. Okay, so first thing is that you need to define the data type, and then you need to declare the variable and then the value. In case you are not defining the variable value, it will be printed the default value. Okay, so for the default value of integer will be 0, for the double it will be 0.0, right? Okay, for string it will be null. Suppose say I am declaring some string str, right? So I did not define any value, right? So if you want to print, so what will happen here? Okay, so it will print the default value for the string. Okay, so S will be in lowercase string. Okay, no, okay, we cannot print here, but yeah, within the class only we can do it. So it will be only in the class, but not in the main method. So we can define some value in the main class. Okay, we'll show you. Okay, in the variable, if you define something, you need to define the value. So say string str equal to Java. Now it's fine, it will printed the value of Java. But in case you are creating some other class where you can define the variable, okay, and no need to worry, so I'll be showing in the next topics what is the default value it will print whenever you will be creating the object and the class. So that's why you can define the different variable, right? So suppose say this is the integer, right? So integer only take without decimal. Suppose if you want to enter some decimal here, so what will happen? You can see the error message immediately coming. So either that you cannot convert from the double to integer, right? So either you need to change it to double or you need to change the value of the integer. So that's why automatically it gives you some suggestion, right? Suppose a similar way, if you want to give another variable called boolean, right? So you need to use b1 equal to true or false. It will only store the value called true and false, not other value, right? If you give other value, it will throw immediately error, because boolean is like true or other false value it will take, right? So here I can print out the b1 value. it will print it out the boolean value. You can see, right, Java and then true. But if you want to give apart from any true and false, true one, immediately it will throw the error. So that is the reason data type plays a pivotal role. Based on the data type, you have to declare the variable value. So it will be driven on the data type, not the variable. So variable instead of a, I can declare a1. It will not have any impact. But data type, right? But data type, I need to give it the some other one. Here also I need to change it only. Okay. So based on the data type, you need to give the value. Okay. So variable name, you can declare anything. Suppose say I want to declare integer a like that. It will not throw any error because that can be variable. So whenever you are declaring the variable, the reserved word in the Java it should not be like try, catch, integer, like all this stuff it cannot be there. Otherwise you can declare any kind of variable. Okay, that's the data type concept. Then the next one is the variable. So already I have tried to link it in the variable data type because this is the connection. There is a connection, right? The data type cannot be, you have to define some variable, and whenever you are dealing with variable, that should be having some data type, right? Otherwise it's logically irrelevant. So variable is a container which holds the value while the Java program is getting executed. A variable is assigned with the data type. Variable is a name of memory location. Java variable are case sensitive, right? Because Java is case sensitive, and variable should not be matched with the Java reserve keyword. So in Java there are reserve keyword like try, catch, right, finally, final, okay, the static, main, void, right? This is the different loop, for, while, do while. This is the different reserve keyword. So you should not use those as a variable declaration. Yeah, suppose say if you want to declare something called do, right? So you can see, because do is a reserve keyword in Java, immediately it is throwing error. But if you want to give do one, right, it will be not be throwing any error because you can do, right? If you want to give try, so it is a reserve keyword in Java, so immediately error message will come, right? In the as and when you are pressing the save, immediately it will throw the error. You don't need to run the code, and even if you run your code, it will throw the error, right? It will give you the error in the console that this is the problem is happening. So that's why you can get to know, right? You can see invalid variable declarator, right? Try, syntax error. But if you give try one, it will be fine. So apart from the reserve keyword, you should give the proper variable name, right? It should be unique in nature. So suppose say you already declared variable called a1, and if you want to again declare a1 variable, it will throw the error because it's already there, right? So you need to rename a1 to either a2, like a11 or anything, which, so any variable should be one time, not multiple times. But you can use the variable multiple times, but variable declaration should be unique throughout the program, right? So variable must be declared before you are using it, not after using it cannot variable declare. Suppose say here you already seen that we have declared the variable before and after that we have used, right? So but I suppose say I will be declaring the variable a11 later and I want to use it before the declaration, so it will throw the error. So it should be declared before one, right? You can see error message is coming, though I have declared a11. So it should be declared before using it. You can see again it is giving me suggestion to create the variable. But if you cut paste the line after the declaration, you can see there is no error. It's fine. So that is the concept called variable. I need to declare the value also. Okay, your message is gone. So that is the different thing. And whenever you are declaring some variable, then the total size of the wording should not cross 255 character, right? The value stored in a variable can be changed during program execution. So how it can be changed? So here I already defined, right, a1, right? So I can use a1 equal to 20. Then I can print the value, right? Let's comment out this part here. Okay, so then if you want to print the value of a1, so it will print the value, right, only. right? Again you can change the value of a1 to another variable, then again you can use it. So it will take the latest variable, right, value whenever it will be used. Now I want to change to 40, 70, like that. And if you want to print out the value again, so it will print the 70, not the 20. So that's why it can be changed multiple number of times the same variable. So you can see the two values coming, one is 20 and 70. So that's the different way, right? We can define the variable. Then what are the different type of variables available in Java? There are primarily three type of variable available, right? One is local variable, then another is the instance variable, another is the class variable. So local variable means we are defining in locally, right? So we'll be defining in the locally. Static variables or class variables mean we will be defining as a static, so that can be used any point of time in the class without creating the object or instance. But in case you are creating an instance variable without defining static word, right, you can use it in the class, but you need to create an object or instance first. After that you can use it. So let's try to create three variable here. Okay, so let's comment it out. So how we can define the variable? So we need to define the variable in the class level. Then I will be using in the main method, right? So here I will be defining a variable called integer write a equal to 20, right? So this is called, what is variable? This is called instance variable. Though there is no instance, unless I am creating an instance of the class, I cannot use that variable instance. Okay, then I will be defining variable called static int b equal to 40, which is called static variable because I am defining value called static, right? That is the reason. And then I can create a method, right? So I will be creating a method called void test. Right now no need to worry, then again you will be seeing how to create a method in the upcoming session. Here I can define a variable called c, so which is a local variable. Why it is local? And here I can print out the value in the method so c. That is only accessible in the method, right? Okay, you can see Java is case sensitive, so it cannot be v. Now how you will use this variable in the main method, right? Okay, so suppose say I want to print all the variable, I want to get all the variable, right? So you can see, if you want to print the variable c, you can see the term is coming. C cannot be reserved to a variable because this is a local variable. I cannot call in the main method anywhere, right? So that is the concept of the local variable. If you define something as a locally, so that can only accessible in the local but not in the main method. Then the next one is the instance variable. Can I use it in the main method? No, right? You can see again error is coming. You can see change to a static. In case it is a static variable, then I can't use this variable whatever is registered in the class level, right, in the main method. So you cannot use it. But b variable, you can simply use it without any error. And if you run your code, you can see the value will be giving the variable of the b in the console because b has been defined as static. So what is the meaning of static? So as and when you are defining something as static, immediately memory allocation is happening and it's assigning the memory, right, some space. So that is the reason you can call in the main method immediately. But in case it is a non-static, right, or instance variable or other instance variable, so you cannot use it directly, but you can use it, right? So for that one, you need to create a object or instance first. How will be creating the object? You need to give the class name, then you need to create an object, or here you need to give some variable name, then you need to use new keyword, and then that's why you can create an object or instance, right? So now if you want to print the value of the instance variable, you can do it. Here you need to use that object whatever created dot a. You can see now a is coming from where it is coming, from this class session3. Its type is integer. Now you can use it, right? So that's why you can call the instance variable. But in case it is static variable, so there is no need of creating an object or instance of the class. You can immediately use it. But in case it is instance variable, so you need to create an object or instance of the class in the main method, then only you can use the instance variable. So that is the beauty, right? But of the local variable you cannot use any circumstances in the main method, right? But you can call that method, right? You can see. So in the method only, right, that value can be printed or based on the method body you have written. Now if you run it, you can see the value of 20 will be also coming as the method, but you cannot access that local variable. So you can create local variable here again. So that is the different three variables available in Java. One is called local variable, another is called static variable, another is called instance variable. Then the object and classes I already
One
yes,
question,
yes.
Yeah, so what's the best practice? What are you recommended? Like you should use
Yeah, in the framework most of the
variables
time,
or the static?
in the framework most of the time we'll be using static. So that will be used calling them as and when required without creating an object or instance. But definitely sometime we need to create a local variable as well, right? Because I don't want to disclose that variable, right? So that should be stored in the local. So based on your requirement, you need to use it, right? So local variable means that will be, you will be adding it in locally, so that no other person can use it, right? Other method. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but otherwise you can use the
Give me
stat.
your code for a second.
Yeah, sure.
So in this last this thing where you have written as object.test,
Yeah, because I am
this
calling the
is
method here. This is the method, test method. So in the method,
okay.
right, I have defined a local variable and I want to print the value of the variable. That is the reason it is giving me the value. This is the method objective, to print the value of C. That is the reason it is coming. But if I don't want to call it the C, right, if I want to call something, so write test, so it will be giving me the test, not the value of C. So just for reference, I have just tried to give that way only. You can see now it will be printed out the value of C only. You can see, not the value of 20. Got it?
Okay.
So you can see there is a warning message, right? Because though I have defined the local variable C, that is not used anywhere. That is the reason it is giving me warning, right? You can see the value of the local variable C is not used. So that's why you can get to know that you have defined something but you did not use them. As and when I will be using here, so you can see the warning message will be gone. So this is not the hard stopper, this is a warning to warn you that you have defined something but you are not used it. But that is not a hard stopper to the failure, it's a warning in Java. It is giving you suggestion. Any other questions so far from the topics covered? Because this is very, very critical, guys. Data type and the variable, you need to try to understand the concept, right? That is the reason I am starting everything from the scratch. How the thing we are defining, how we are, right? Everything, each and every minute thing I am trying to highlight it here. This is a very, very important concept. Any questions? Okay. Then the object and class I already showed, right? That in the class we need to create an object or instance. So how can you create it? So this is my class. This is my class. You can see public class, and I will be creating an object with the help of the class. This is the object and new keyword and then object class first bracket. So that's why object created. Now with the help of the object, I can call all the instance variables, right? I can access it, and I can also access all the methods available in the class. Okay.
Sir, I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
So suppose if I am defining int a equal to 20 inside the main method,
Mm-hmm.
even then I have to create a instance.
No,
So now we have defined int a in after class. Suppose if I'm mentioning after main,
no. Because this is you are writing in the
then
main
I have to
method.
create a instance, right?
No, you are writing in the main method, but not in the class level, right?
Okay.
Here I am written everything in the class level, not in the main method.
So now it will not be like instant
No,
variable.
no, 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 no. Because it's a main method only, right? So suppose say you have a flat, right? In the flat itself, right, you have multiple room. But in case you are already in a room and you want to access that thing, everything will be accessible in the room itself, right? But in case it's in the flat in your flat itself, then how can you access it? So then only the three conflicts will come because we are defining everything in the flat, not a particular room. Just kind of similar example, may not be that accurate, but similar example. Okay, so I mean we can declare any class, right? So though we have added a class called class 3, still we can create another more class. Suppose say I'll be creating a class called so that's the syntax you can use, class, and then you can give the class name, then third bracket. Within the third bracket you need to define the different properties, right, with the data type, means the variable. Okay, so I'll be creating a class in the package. So here I'll be creating a class. So class, suppose say employee. Okay, so that is the syntax, right, for creating a class. So it should be definitely in the package only. So you can create multiple class. Though you have created a season 3 class, but you can create a multiple class here. So here I'll be defining package. So employee, right, integer employee number. This is the variable, right? Then say double salary, right? Double data type salary is the salary of the employee. Okay, so that's why I can define a class. Now I'll be creating an object or instance here. emp1 equal to new employee, that is the syntax, right? Now if you want to print the value of the variable, right, so this is the employee one object. With the help of that I can call the variable whatever defined in the employee class. You can see this two variable is coming, employee number and the salary, right? Similar way I can try to print out the salary. Dot salary. Okay, now that the thing I was telling, right? So now if you want to run it, because I have defined the data type and the variable, but it did not define any value here, that can be only done in the class level but not in the main method. If you want to call in the main method, you can see the value is coming as 0, is coming as 0.0, because that is the default value of this data type. For default value of the data type, integer is 0, double is 0.0, in case it is string, right? So if I define another variable called string name, right, and if you want to print it here, so it will be null. So these are the different default value of the different data type available, right? So I did not define any value here, I have declared it only. Why string? So a string whenever you define, it will be S will be capital letter or the uppercase. You can see the default data type for the string is null. That is the reason it is coming as null. We did not define any value, we have just defined the data type, right? So you can define the default value here, right? But what the problem will happen? So you can get only one value. That is the problem. If you define the value at the class level, you can get only one value. That is the problem. So sometime you can create an object or instance and you can define multiple object or instance, and you can define multiple value in the main method. So how can you do it? So emp dot emp number. Dot employee number I can give. So suppose say I will be giving employee number, it is a string, it is integer, I can give that number like that, right? Then dot salary, so it's a double, I can give the call like that, okay? Then dot name, like that I can give the name equal to, it is string, I need to give called Rahul, okay, like that. Now if you want to print out, right, so you can see the value will be coming because you have defined that variable employee1 only. Now the value will be coming, right? But here if you define the value, so it will take only that value, but here you can, there is a provision called changing the different one, right? So I'll be creating another variable or another object or instance for the employee class called emp2. So similar way I can define some value here, right, and similar way I can print out it, right? So I can change it to 12,002, right, called 00 Rahul Ramesh, like that. Now if you want to print out, right, so that is the difference between the object and the class, right? So class you can define the data type and the value as well, but if you want to create multiple instance of the, right, of the multiple object of the class, so that's how you can do it. So let's go to the topic, sir. So an object in Java is a physical as well as logical entity, whereas the class in Java is a logical one. A class is a group of objects which is common properties. It is a template or blueprint from which object can be created. A object is an element of an application representing an instance of a class. So object will be logically and physically exist. So class it will be just kind of logically exist, not physical one. Suppose if I want to give some name called animal, right? So animal, there is no animal, right? There nothing called animal. But if you want to tiger, lion, monkey, like that, so you can find out this is the part, right? So similar way, right? You can see. So an entity that has a behavior and state is known as object, right? But it's a class is a collection of objects. So that is the basic difference you can remember for the object and the class. Is it clear? Because that is, these are the very important concept, right? Otherwise it will be tough for you guys. Okay, just you need to learn the basic concept of Java. This is the starting point. Once you are very clear on the starting point, it will be very easy for you to learn Java without doubt. That is the reason I am taking time. Otherwise I can go fast, but I am taking time so that you can understand. Is it fine? Okay. Then the operator, just like normal operator, right? So subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, relation operator, assignment operator, logical operator is there in the Java. And how can you use it? Just you can go to the main method and you can try to use them. So there is no difference, it's kind of normal thing, but still you can use them. Suppose I will be defining some variable called integer a equal to 20, integer b equal to 10. Suppose if you want to perform the operation called a plus b, a minus b, a multiplication, you can do it, right? A plus b, similar way you can do it, right? So suppose say s y so say a plus plus, right, and then again the value of a, right? Similar way you can do it. So this is called increment operator, right? A plus plus. Okay. Let's try to run the code. So it will give me the value of a plus b. A plus plus, it will still give me the value of the a only. But next time it will be added by 1 because it's already a value is added 1. So that is the difference between a plus plus. Okay. So a plus plus, it will give me the value of a only, but the value will be stored by 1 plus. Okay. Next time if you want to use the a, it will be added by 1. But now let's say if you want to use plus plus a, so what will happen? It will add the value of a by 1, then it will be printed out, and next time once you will print it, it will give the same value. So that is the difference between the pre-increment and the post-increment operator. So plus plus, previous the before the variable is called pre-increment. Your value will be incremented by 1, then it will be printed out. But a plus plus means the post-increment. So your value will be displayed, after that it will be incremented by 1. Okay. So that is the different operator available. Suppose if you want to check whether the greater less like that, right, you can check it. So it will give you the boolean value true or false. Suppose say a equal to, right. So either is a equal to a or b not, a greater than equal to b or not, you can check it like that. So it will give you true or false. So that's why you can use this operator, logical operator. Okay, you can see the first one is not equal to false, and then it is true. It is a greater than b. Here the logical operator only used whenever you are defining some two variable which are kind of true or false value. So you can check whether true false like that, right? Logical and logical or, this kind of logic gate. Assignment operator I already saw, right? PA assignment, post assignment. Suppose say here the value is already there for a, right? And next time if you want to use called m equal to 10, a equal to 10, then here I will be using a star or a plus, right? A star equal to 2. Then what happened? So a will be m star equal to a star equal to 2. So the value of the a will be, right, multiplied by 2, then here it will be used. So that's why you can use the assignment operator. If you use a plus equal to 2, it will be added by 2. A divided by 2, it will be divided by 2. A minus 2, it will be minus by 2. Now you can see the value of the summation of a and plus b equal to coming as 50. Why? Because a value was 20, but it's multiplied by 2, right? And so 40 plus 10 equal to 5. It's here 41. Because its value is already multiplied by 2, and then it is pro increment, and then it is value again. So that's why you can use this different operator, right? The arithmetic operator for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, increment, decrement. Relation operator for checking whether the kind of equal to, not equal to, greater, less, all this stuff. Assignment operator, you can assign the value for add, subtract, multiplication, division, like that. And logical operator, you can check in case they are defining two variable, true and false. So in case both are true, it will give you true. One is true, right, it will give you true if you use the logical or, like that. And if you use logical not, so you can check whether it's both are same or not. Then the next one is the string. Yeah,
Excuse one
yeah.
doubt. Can you go to the code part?
Yeah.
So here we see that when you declared int a equals to 20, and then you declared int b equals to 10,
10.
right? So the equals to sign, once you gave a space and once you didn't, but you
That does not make any problem. Okay, you can
correct.
give
But
any
then
space.
when you were doing the same thing for this a,
No, this is the different one, right? Immediately, right? No, it will giving there because you are assigning something. Okay, so immediately it will be a star equal to at the same time, no space. Assignment operator, it will should not have any space.
so it is fine if you give a
Right.
space, or
It will throw you error.
Data syntax error.
It will throw you error. But here you are just giving the value, but it is called assignment operator. So that is the syntax here. 3 is equal, 3 is one syntax. Okay, so that is the reason. Here it is different, it is different, it is different, it is different. But here this 3 is continuous kind of suit, you can say.
Sir, when we are using this module one,
Yeah, module 1, suppose say if you want to check that whether something called any kind of suppose say 21, right? Suppose let's see here modulus so b modulus operator, right? This is called modulus 2. It's kind of 0, kind of remainder, right? If you divide something, right, 10 by 2, so if you give it 9, so it will give you 1, because 2 by, if you divide 9, 2 into 4, 8, and 1 will be module, right, as a reminder. So that's where modulus operator used. So it will give you the value called 1. You can see.
okay.
So next one is string. You already seen, right, that how we can write a string. So there are 3 ways. We can directly call a tree string, or you can convert a character to a string, or you can, with the help of the new keyword, we can use the string. But that is the main thing we used for the string. So string is a sequence of characters. So character is a one character. It will be typed as a one character, whereas string is a sequence of character. It can contain alphabet, number, and special character, right? Okay, but if you, within a double quote, if you define something as a number, but it will still consider as a string only, right? So if you want to consider only the number value, so you define the word only, the data type as an integer. But if you define something, right, string a is equal to, suppose say 1000, so it will string considers a string only, not the numeric 1000, right? So that is the another thing is string. Suppose say now if you want to add s plus 100, so what will the value it will give? Can anyone tell me what value it will be give? Just I want to get the answer from anyone of you.
It will give 1000 only. After that, once you declare, I think.
Yeah, it will be concatenated, right? 1000,
Correct.
and then it will be added like that. Okay, so because it is string, it is not the integer. In case it's the integer, it will give you 1000 plus 100 equal to 1100, but it is string, so it will be concatenated. Let's try to run the code and let's see. So that is the difference between string and integer. Though you are using integer, but if you, as you mentioned in the double quote, so that will consider as a string, and that the numeric operation will not be performed. It will be concatenated, concatenation operation in the string. Okay. So an array of character works same way in the Java string. So string can be used, created with the help of new keyword as well. So these are the different operation can be performed on the string. So there are different method, right? This is called concatenate, merge, or combine two string, or one string, and we can just plus sign if you give, that will be concatenated, right? Character add, with the help of that word you can see that a particular location what character is available. You can compare two string. If you want to check whether this two string is equal, you can equal ignore case. Suppose in case you are writing something uppercase, if you want to convert them the lower case, right, you can do it, right, with the help of the different methods available. I will be showing one by one. So let's see one by one. So here give Rahul string s1. So concatenation you already see. Similar way you can convert to string s2 called Rahul1. right? If you want to compare, then how can you compare it? Oh God. So you need to give s1 and string dot compare. You can see all the string method will be coming here. If you use any string and if you paste dot, it will be coming here. Compare dot. You can see compare to, and if you want to compare the ignored equal case, so that case will be ignored, lowercase uppercase, right? And you can compare it. S2. So definitely it will give some value, because it's not compare. You can see -1. So that is the one sort, right? If it is equal sign, so you can see whether it's equal to or not. So that's why I can check whether it's equal to or not. It will give you 0 value in case it is matching. Okay. Suppose if you want to check that character, right, any position, right? So in Java everything will start from 0. So this is the 0th position R, this is the first position, second, third, fourth, like that, right? So s1 dot length. So it will give you integer value. What is the length of the string, right? If you want to get the dot caret, which index, suppose say I want to give the third index, right? So I can get it. So it will print you the value. So 0 is the R, first index A, second index A, third index it will be U. So that's why I can print out the different value, right? You can see here the size is 5, that means total 5 number of sizes there, R, A, H, U, L. This is 5 size. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is called 5 size, right? So size will start from 0 and it will go till in the size of the -1. Okay, so that's why it will be index. If you want to replace something, you can replace it. Suppose you have already string, and if you want to replace it with the help of replace method, suppose I want to replace A with E. So first will be A and then second one the replace part. Then if I want to convert something to uppercase to lowercase, right? If you want to trim something, suppose you have already white spaces, right, in the first part or second part, you want to remove the white spaces, right? You can check the trim method, right? So that's how you can do it. Suppose say there is a trim, this is the part, right? I want to trim, right? Now if you want to print out so it will trim all the white space. If you want to change it to uppercase or lowercase, right, you can convert it to uppercase or lowercase, right? So everything will be uppercase, everything will be lowercase, like that. Let's try to run the code and let's see. So this is the important string methods available in the string class, right? So you can see the first one is giving the white space, right? The back and the after even also, right? You can see this is the white space. Second one is no white space, right? It's trimming. And third one is converting with the white space, and everything is in uppercase. Okay, if you want to check any particular string is containing some word, right? So suppose say one is a big string, one page string, but in that particular thing you want to check whether that some Selenium word is present or not. You can easily do it with the help of the contents method, whether it is present is not, right? So if it is present, it will give you true. If it is not present, it will giving you false. You can check whether the string is empty or not, right? In case it is a null string, so there will be no value, so it will give you the result called true, it's empty. In case some value is there, it's not empty. You can check whether the any string start with any alphabet, any word, end with any word, right? If you want to get the substring, right, you can get it with the help of substring. So suppose say there are 20 words, but I want to get the 5 word, so I'll be giving you the sometime I can give that word 2, so that after 2 everything will be printed as substring. But if I go give the starting and the ending, then I can only get that one. So suppose say here I am giving here Rahul Verma, right? dot substring. Okay, see, I can only give the begin index, I can give the beginning at the end index. So here if I give the index called 5, so after 5 everything will be printed out. Okay, but here if I give for 5 till 10 like that, so all the between the 5 to 10 it will be giving me the substring. So that is the difference between the subs, and you can see substring after 5 it will giving it, but here that is only giving it, right? Verb 5 to 10. So that is the difference between the substring, where you can give the starting index and ending index.
Is the sorry, is the space counted in index?
Yeah. Everything will be counted here.
So
In
if you
case
give a space, it will take it as
uh,
each space will
right,
take it
right,
as
right.
one
One
index,
index, right. Because space is also in sequence, right? White space also is a character, right? So that is the reason it's taking that one. So it is taking right after 5, so it is taking that. So still this 5 and this is 6 character space, so that is the reason it's taking. If you remove the space, so that's fine, but space is also a character. Any questions from the strings important method or functions? Okay, so you already seen the different string data type like integer, double, right? Other different data type also, kind of boolean. Now you will see that array, right? What is array and how we can get the value from an array? So array is a collection of similar type of element, right? So you can store only integer or only double or only float, right, or only string. So that is the called array. So that is the problem, right? So if you want to store multiple things, then what will happen? So array will not figure out the solution. So that's why collection came into the picture. So I'll be covered it in the later part. No need to worry. So there is a drawback only because you cannot hold multiple variety of data type in the array. It only hold one type of data type. So array is a collection of similar type of elements that have contiguous memory allocation. Okay. So array is a very common type of data structure wherein all elements must be of same data type. Once defined, the size of the array cannot be changed. That is the another problem, right? But so to deal with that, you need to go to the collection framework. So there is no need of defining their size. You can go any number of data. It can be 1 or it can be 10 without defining the size of the array, right? So this is the single dimensional, this is a multi-dimensional array. So array declaration can be in 3 ways. First is that we can declare the array, right? So how can you declare the array? So suppose say we will declare the array. There are 3 definition of the array, right? We can declare the array. Suppose say integer data type we need to give, then array. Or int array, like that, right? So this is the one. So first you are defining the data type or declaring the data type of the array, then you are constructing the array, right? So how you are constructing the array? You are constructing means you are giving the value, right? What is the size of the array, right? So here it will be giving new equal to new, and then you can give the size. Suppose it's 5, right? So means size will be, array will be size will be 5. So 0 to 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Then I can define the value of the array. So how can I define the value of the array? So that is the part. So 10 like that. So this will be the value 0, right? 1, 2 and 3, 20, 30, 40. So I did not define another variable, right? So in case you did not define, but you have, as you fix the size, so it will take the default value of the data type. So it will take the value called 0. So fifth element, it will get the value of 0. So now you can, how can access the array? So method right here. So similar way you need to give that one. So here 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 I did not define, right? Okay, sorry, that's 5. Fine, that is the. Now if you get print out, so 0 to 3 it will give me the value whatever is defined here, right? And the last one here, because size has been fixed, so I did not define, so it will take the default value from the data type. But if you want to call more thing, right, it will throw you error because the value is not present, right? If you want to add, if you want to get the value called 5, because that is not available, right? Because size of the array is 5, so it will throw you the error called array index out of bound, like that. You can see, okay, array index out of bound exception, because size of the array is 5, so you cannot consider the 6th element, means 5th index. So that's why you can deal with the array. Now if you want, that is the, we already defined that variable, right? Now if you want to do some operation of the array, right? So suppose I want to multiply a 4th element with other element, sorry, 3rd element with the 2nd element. So that's, you can do it easily. You can see 30 plus 40 equal to 1200, it is coming, right? So that is the one type of array, you can do it. Another is that there is no 3 waves required, right? You can simply declare the array, right? You can see here integer array, and you can directly declare within the double quote, right? So in case it is 2 dimensional, it will be 2 dimensional. So here you need to give 2 dimensional, 2 dimension. So that is called 2 dimensional or multi-dimensional array. And array name, right? Multi dimension dim array. This is the array. Here you need to give second bracket, again second bracket, 1, 2, 3. You can close. So that is the first row, and then here you can give another row called 4, 5 and 6, and you can close. So that is simple way. So what does it mean here? So 1, 2, 3 will be, and this is called row. So here if you want to print out the array, so it will look like that. So it will be one, two, three, and then it will be, value will be 4, 5, 6. So you can see this is the one row. So here row is 2, column row, this is the one row, this is the one row. So row is 2, column is 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's how it will be presented actually. So 1, 2, 3 is the row, and 4, 5, 6 and another row, column wise 1, 4, 2, 5 and 3, 6. Okay, so that is the multi-dimensional array. Now if you want to print the value, then how can you print out? So you need to give the column and the row here, right? This is the array name. So first one will be row and second one will be column. So there is 2 rows, so row number will be 0 and 1. There is 3 columns, so column number will be 0, 1 and 2. So row 0, column 0, I can give the value, right? So here row 0, column 1, row 1, column 0, row 1, column 2, like that, right? Okay, let's try to run the code and let's see. So row 0 column 0 will be 1, right? Row 0 column 1 will be 2, row 1 column 0 will be 4, and row 1 column 2 will be 6. So that's why it is getting printed. So that's why you can work with the single and multi-dimensional array. There is two way. In a single way you can directly define the array in the double quote, and another is that you can declare the array, then you can construct the array, and then you can initialize the array. If you want to sort the array, you can do it with the help of sorting, array.sort. So any questions? All the things are very conceptual. Okay, suppose say whenever you will be working on the framework part, so that knowledge will be relevant, okay, for you guys, so that you can easily work on that one. That is the reason for the Java first session I am taking some extra time, so that you can minutely understand each and every concept. Then the next one is loop. Okay, so suppose say you want to run your code multiple times, right? Okay, but writing every time is not possible, right? So that is the reason you can go with some loops, so that you can define the size, that it will go from 0 and it will go till 11, like that. So you can, if you want to change it, you can only just change the iteration, the minimum and the maximum criteria. You can give the subling or doubling, like all this stuff, right? So that's the reason loop is very important in Java. There may be situation when user need to execute a block of code several number of times, not only one time. General statements are executed sequentially. The first statement is a function is executed first, followed by second, and so on. So loop statements are used for repetitive execution. Means multiple number of time, not a single number of time, it's multiple number of time. There are primarily three loops is available. One is the for loops, the next is the while loops, and third one is the do while loop. So for loops is used when your number of iteration is fixed, then you can go for the for loop. You know that minimum criteria and the maximum criteria and the differentiation, so you will go for the for loop. And if you do not have the number of iteration is fixed, right, you can go with while or do while loop, but you can choose while loop when you want to check the condition first before executing the loop. You will be going to the while loop. But do while loop, you want to execute your loop one time, though condition is matching or non-matching, then you can go with the do while loop. So Java for loop is a control flow statement that iterates a part of the program multiple times. So for loop repeats a block of statement for a specified number of times. So if the number of iteration is fixed, it's recommended to use for loop. So this is the syntax. If you remember the syntax, you know there is no hard of creating the loops. So for start value, end value, increment or decrement operator, then the statement. So that is the syntax you need to remember. So I'll be writing the same way for loop. For, you can see you need to use start value. So for start value I need to define some variable, right, integer, suppose say I equal to 2, suppose say. Then what you need to give end value, right, then increment decrement operator, right. So what is the end value? I want to start with I equal to 2 and I want to go till less equal to 10, then I plus plus, increment or decrement, right. This is the syntax, and then you need to give double bracket, then I want to print out the value of I. Okay. So that is the for loop, right. Now if you run, it will start with 2, it will incremented by 1, so it will 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see it is coming like that. If you want to start with 0, and if you don't want to go till 10, but if you want to go till 9, so you can give the condition as I less than 10, means it will go till 9 but not equal to 10. You can see here. So it will be starting from 0 and it will go till 9. Okay. So that are the different way, right, where you can use the for loop when the number of iteration is fixed, right. Now if you want to give some condition in that for loop, right, so I want to go from I equal to 0 to I equal to 10, but if I don't want to go for some condition, right, so here you can give some if loop. So anyway, if loop will be covered in the next session. I don't want to go I not equal to 5. I don't want to go that part. So you need to give another bracket here. So I want to go everything, but I don't want to go for 5. So it will start with 0, it will go 1, 2, 3, and as and when 5 is matching, it will not be printed out. Again, it will start from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you want to give multiple condition like I don't want to go for 5 and as well as I don't want to go for 7. So you can give ampersand sign and you can skip those things. So that's why you can use the different type of variety for loop. You can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 printed, 5 is not printed because I don't want to go. And 6 is printed, again 7 is skipped, 8 and 9 is getting printed. Any questions? Is it clear? So I am not going beyond that thing whatever written in the PPT. Start value, end value, increment, decrement apart, the statement. In the statement, if I give some condition, if and else condition like that, if the condition is matching, I don't want to print, that's fine. If it is not equal to then I print. So when the number of iteration will be fixed, I know then I will go for the for loop. The next one is the while loop. So while loop will definitely, when the condition is not fixed, I do not know that how many number of iteration is there, so you can use while or do while loop. But while loop will be used, the first it will check the condition, then it will go the statement and it will increment or decrement. So initialization, then while, then statement and then increment or decrement operator. So what is the syntax? So I need to define some variable called integer j equal to 20. Okay, I will start from 20. Then I will be giving the condition while j less than equal to 25, right? Then what happens? I will just print out the value of the j. Then I will be incrementing or decrementing j, right? So that is called while loop. So we are not defining the syntax. Initialization, then while the condition. So definitely condition satisfying. So I am starting with 20. I want to check the value till 25. Then I am printing the value and I am incrementing the value one by one. So starting from 20, it will go till 25, 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24, 25. Because the condition is matching with equal to sign, less equal to 25. You can see. Now if you give 15, so definitely it will not match. You can see the loop terminated without any error, without any result. Because this is not matching. Now if you want to go in the different way, right, in the lower direction, from the lower to upper, but here I will go from the upper to lower. So I will be starting with 10, then I want to go till 15, right? Sorry, I will starting with 20 and I want to go till 15, it will be minus minus. So that's why I also can do it. You can see starting with 20 it is decremented by 1, 19 like that till 15 it is going. So that's why I can use the while loop. Okay. Then the next one is the do while loop. So do while loop. So while loop is first checking the condition, but do while loop it will print one time. Though condition is matching or non matching, it will never check. So it will at least iterate for the one time. After that, it will check for the condition. So Java do while loop used to iterate a part of the program several times if the number of iterations is not fixed, and user must have to execute the loop at least once. It's recommended to use do while loop. It executes a block of statement at least once, irrespective of the condition. First, the statement inside loop executes, and then the condition gets evaluated. If the condition returns true, then the control gets transferred to do, else it jumps to the next statement after do while. So initialization, then do, at least it will do one time, then the statement will read, and then it will increment the decrement, and then it will, at last it will read the condition. So similar way I will try to do it. Do while loop. So first I am giving the condition. So suppose say I want to give the condition called 0, right? Then what I will write here, I will be giving value of 0. Suppose I will be creating new variable called k. Then here I want to use do, right? Then I want to print out the value, because this is a statement, it will print it out, the value of k. Then it will be k plus plus, right? And here outside here the condition will be there. K less than, suppose 5. I want to go till 4 or till 5. So k less than 6. That will go till 5. Okay. Now if you want to run it, okay, you can see here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if the condition is not matching, suppose I want to give the condition which is not matching, but still the code will be executed once, which will give the value called 0. So that is the beauty of the while loop. Sometime I want to execute to see that my program is already executing or not, at least some other event is there, but still my program is executing, so I can check with that one. Suppose say 10 equal to, I can give it, so it will go from 0 and it will go the 10. Okay, you can see it is starting from 0, it is going to 10. So that's way I can use this kind of loop. Then I am using this loop, but sometime I used to control the loop, right? Okay. Then how can I control it? So loop control statement changes execution from its normal sequence when execution leaves a scope, or automatic objects that were created in that scope will be destroyed. Java support break and continue control statement. So when a break statement is encountered inside a loop, the loop is immediately terminated and the program control resume at the next statement following the loop. Okay. So if I want to discontinue that iteration, so I can give some called break statement. So break statement is also used in the switch statement as well, right? So apart from the loop, break can be used. Break is a keyword. It's also used in the switch statement to break the switch statement. In case my condition is matching, I don't want to go to the iteration, right? Suppose say that there is a 10 room available in a school, right? You want to check that where class 8 student is reading or doing their class. So there is a 10 student, you will go to the first one. If you use the for loop, so you will go all the loop one by one, right? We will go all the 10. So 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. But in case I already found my student whoever is studying in the 8, I don't want to go to the other because I don't want to waste the time. So that's why way, right, I can give a break statement. So as and when my condition is matching, I will stop the execution there immediately. Suppose say in case the class A student are in the first class itself, so you will go to the first class, you can your condition is matching, you will not go to the other 9 class. So that's so you can reduce the wasting of your time. So that is the reason break statement is used, right? So let's go with some real time example here. So already used the for loop, right? So this is the for loop we already used. So that condition you can give it. Let's see, give the condition, one condition, specific condition, if I equal to 5. Then I want to break the loop. Okay, so that is the beauty. That's why I can write the break of the loop. So I will be going to the loop, but in case I am condition is matching I equal to 5 means I will go till 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, immediately it will terminate the loop, it will not go to the other loop. So that is the importance of the break keyword. You can see here immediately it will be terminating. The loop in case my condition is getting matched. Okay, sorry, I equal to 5, not equal to not. Yeah, that is my condition. Okay, you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So as soon as my condition is matching, immediately it is halting the execution and terminating out of the loop. So that is the importance of the break keyword. I don't want to iterate, just like the example I have given, right? I don't want to iterate. So I want to match that one. Still I am matching, I am getting the match, I am halting the execution from that out of the loop, moving out of the loop. Another is the continue statement, right? So continue keyword can be used in any of the loop control structure. It causes the loop to immediately jump to the next iteration of the loop. The purpose of writing a continue statement in Java code is to skip the current iteration of a loop, say for while, do while, like that. So in case you are using the continue keyword, so what will happen, right? It will just skip that page, that step, and it will continue the remaining line of code. So here instead of break you can use continue. So what happen? It will, right, go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and as and condition is matching, that will be skipped and again it will be resumed from 6, 7, 8, 9. It will go till 9. So that is the difference between the break and continue. So break means it will be moving out of the loop. Continue means you will just keeping that particular condition and it will go to the next iteration. You can see 5 is not getting printed out. Apart from that, again it is starting from the 0, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that is the two keyword we actually control the loop. Okay. So that are the different topic I have tried to cover. So I will be refreshing once more time. So Java you already know that this is different important features available. Simple, portable, object oriented, secure, right? Platform independent, robust, interpreted, multi-threaded. Then JVM is a abstract machine and JR is a consolidation of JVM and set of library, whereas JDK is a JRE plus the development tools. Then this is syntax for Java, right? Java is case sensitive language. Every statement should end with semicolon. The program execution will start from the main method. We should enclose with the bracket, right? And this is the importance of the static main method and the SYSO method. The comment can be used, right, for the single line, multiple lines. Then the data types available, primitive and non-primitive, variable, local, instance, class variable, object and classes. So you need to define a class first, and in the classes there can be multiple variables. Sometimes you can define the value within that class itself, or sometimes as and when be required you can create multiple objects and you can use them as and when required. Then there is different operator available called arithmetic, relational, assignment, logical. The string is a sequence of character, right, written in the double quotes only. There's 3 ways you can convert you can create a character. There are the importance class or methods available in the strings math class in methods. You can use them. to deal with the string. There is single multi-line method available. There are primarily 3 loops available, right? For loop, while loop, and do while loop, and where you can run at any number of time, and we can control the loop with the help of break and continue keyword. In case you are using the break keyword, immediately your loop will be terminated, and in case condition is matching. But in case you are using the continue keyword, right, that particular condition will be skipped and you can go to the next iteration. So that are the different topics I want to cover in today's session. Thank you.